The year is 1948. Israel pops into existence after the Holocaust and a UN vote, and right away the United States is like, oh my god, a new best friend. Here's a pile of cash and some weapons. At this point, Iran is called Iran and is under the rule of the Shah, who is totally down bad for Israel, and Iran becomes the second Muslim country to recognize Israel. The three of them exchange friendship bracelets and start swapping oil, training each other's militaries, sharing tech, the whole buddy cop routine. Everybody's having a grand old time until 1951, when Iranians elect this hardcore nationalist, Mohammad Mossadegh, as prime minister, who decides he wants to nationalize Iran's oil instead of letting foreigners run the show. This offends Britain and the US, who operate on a policy of our oil is our oil and your oil is also our oil. So they cook up Operation Ajax, a straight up CIA coup that boots Mossadegh out and puts the Shah back on the throne even stronger and shinier than before. The Shah was an absolute Chad, and by an absolute Chad, I mean he was widely hated. His autocratic, often repressive style of governance, combined with forced rapid westernization and a deep alignment with the US, clashed with Iranian cultural and religious identity. He held lavish palace parties at a time when Iran was suffering from economic mismanagement and inequality. To counter criticism, he created the Savak secret police to crack the heads of anyone who complained. People grumbled and protested a bit, but they mostly put up with it until 1979, when they finally had enough of the corruption, the repression, and the American influence, and would you look at that, we have a revolution on our hands. Ayatollah Khomeini rose in the picture, and Iran, which was Iran, now becomes the Islamic Republic of Iran. What was once the United States' best friend is now their number one enemy. That November, students stormed the US embassy, grab 52 Americans, and hold them hostage for 444 days. Jimmy Carter tries a rescue mission, but the helicopters crash in the desert, and so do his re-election dreams. Reagan gets sworn in as president, and would you look at that, the hostages walk free on day one. I'm sure that's a total coincidence. While that's all going down, Iraq invades Iran in 1980 and kicks off an 8-year meat grind-off for war. The US does towards Saddam and feeds him intelligence, but secretly the Reagan White House is selling missiles to Iran anyway to free more hostages and illegally funnel money to Nicaraguan rebels in the whole Iran-Contra circus. Congress finds out later and is not amused, but Reagan just finds his way into re-election. The year is now 1982, and Israel invades Lebanon to push back the PLO, who've been launching attacks from there after an assassination attempt on the ambassador in London. Iran sees the perfect opening and helps create Hezbollah. 1 year later, Hezbollah says hello with a truck bomb into the US Marine barracks in Beirut, leaving 241 Americans dead. The US is like, yeah, screw this, and sails home. Through the 90s and early 2000s, Iran quietly starts spinning uranium centrifuges, making everyone very nervous. In 2002, George W. Bush calls them part of the axis of evil, and Iran is like, well, that's just rude. Then in 2006, Hezbollah rains thousands of rockets down on Israel, leading to a 34 days war with airstrikes, ground invasion, you know, the usual war stuff. Both sides claim they totally won, and a ceasefire is signed. 2010 rolls around and is the year of the nerds. The US and Israel have had enough of the centrifuges, so they unleash Stuxnet, a sneaky computer worm and the world's first proper cyber weapon that makes Iran's machines and Natanz literally spin themselves to death. 1,000 centrifuges gone just like that, and Iran is pretty mad that they got beaten by a bunch of pizza-eating computer freaks. It's now 2012, and Israel is done with the serious diplomatic adult talk, so they pivot to cartoons. Benjamin Netanyahu pulls up to the UN General Assembly with what is essentially a Looney Tunes bomb diagram and basically goes, if Iran cross line, we all go boom. 2015 brings the big JCPOA nuclear deal under Obama, in which Iran agrees to limit enrichment, the world lifts some sanctions, and everybody's supposed to chill. Everybody except Israel, who loses its mind, and Netanyahu calls the deal a historic mistake. Then 2018 rolls around and Trump rips the US out of the deal, slaps on maximum pressure sanctions, and Iran's economy basically faceplants. 2020 gets even crazier when Trump orders a drone strike that takes out Qasem Soleimani, Iran's favorite top general, while he's in Baghdad. Iran fires back with ballistic missiles at US bases in Iraq. Over 100 troops get traumatic brain injuries, but somehow there are 0 deaths. October 7th, 2023 changes everything when Hamas, which Iran has been funding and cheering on for years, storms across the border into Israel, kills 1,200 people, and takes many hostages. Israel goes full throttle into Gaza with aerial bombardment and ground invasions, leading to the deaths of tens of thousands of Palestinians and some of the highest known death tolls among children, journalists, and health and humanitarian workers. Hezbollah opens up daily rocket fire from Lebanon, the Houthis start sinking ships in the Red Sea, and Iran's whole axis of resistance squad is suddenly living life on edge. 2024 brings even more escalation. Israel bombs the Iranian consulate in Damascus, so Iran launches its first direct strike ever on Israeli soil, with over 300 drones and missiles. 99% get shot down thanks to Israel, US, Jordan, and even Saudi radar help. Israel responds with one polite little boom near Isfahan, Isfahan. Later that year, Israel takes out Hezbollah's Nasrallah and Hamas's Sinwar. Iran fires 180 ballistic missiles, and Israel answers with its biggest direct strike on Iranian territory ever, smashing air defenses and missile factories. Then comes 2025. On June 13th, Israel says enough is enough and hammers Iranian nuclear sites and missile bases in what's called the 12-day war. Missiles fly both ways, leading to a high number of casualties. June 21st, the United States jumps in with bunker buster bombs on Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, with Trump declaring the Iranian nuclear program set back by months. Ceasefire hits on June 24th, and everybody exhales for about 8 whole months. But the talks collapse, and on February 28th, 2026, the US and Israel go full send with massive strikes across Iran, with the targets being nuclear sites and military command centers. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is killed. Iran launches huge ballistic barrages at Israel and American bases across 6 Middle Eastern countries, namely Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, and Iraq. All 6 of these countries have warned strong retaliations. Oil prices have shot to the moon, and as of March 2026, the war is still going on. The threat of a world war looms over our heads, so if you're ever drafted to fight for your country, you at least now know a brief enough history of what actually led to it all.